Let's get insights from Attorney Michael Yusingo, Senior Research Fellow at the Ateneo Policy Center. Good morning, Attorney. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Angelo. Good morning, Angela. And good morning to all of the viewers and listeners of your program.
All right, Attorney, let's get right to it. No? Yung sinabi nga ni Secretary, pinag-aaralan daw nila kung anong best possible way to get Zaldico back. A treaty will take years. Extradition, pinag-aaralan kasi. Ano bang pwedeng and fastest na gawin? He mentioned UN and the Interpol.
Yeah, yun yung pinaka-obvious, no? Yung coordinating with Interpol. Pero an interesting fact here is that kung nandun si Ko on a Portuguese passport,
Yes.
then that means he is a Portuguese citizen, di ba?
Yes, that's right.
So may jurisdiction yung Portuguese police sa kanya. So maybe that is something our law enforcement can pursue, no? Na he might be violating Portuguese law by being like siguro a dual citizen, violating terms and conditions of his dual citizenship, which could be a criminal offense in Portugal. So pwede siyang arestuhin, no, ng Portuguese police, no. So and then something can come out of that between their police and our police, no. So kung totoo nga, proceeding from that premise that he is there under a Portuguese passport, then he is a Portuguese citizen, and therefore the police of Portugal can have jurisdiction over him as their citizen.
So do they do they recognize, Attorney, sabihin na natin walang crime na ginawa si Zaldico dyan sa Portugal, pero sa Philippines meron. Will Portugal recognize that as a crime also sa kanila, or they will respect it and they can present to us Zaldico?
It depends, no? Depends sa national law ng Portugal. But being part of the EU, I presume na yung dual citizenship conditions nila are very strict. And that could be a possible avenue for our police to pursue, no? Baka na-violate yung terms and conditions na yun. But as far as crimes committed in the Philippines, it depends, no? Kung how the Portugal... their legislation treats crimes committed by their citizens outside of the territory. So, again, ang punto natin dito, that information provides us with an avenue to pursue aside from the Interpol avenue.
Kasi there are a lot of avenues nga that are being discussed or were mentioned nga kung paano daw mapapauwi dito si former Congressman Zaldico. Pero having said that, you mentioned na it makes it more complicated dahil he holds a Portuguese passport. No? So what happens then kapag ganon? Yung sinasabi ni Congresswoman Laila de Lima na deportation. Sabi niya kasi, being the former Department of Justice Secretary, that could be the most logical and uncomplicated option to do to bring home Zaldico.
Yes, that's correct, no? Lalong-lalo na if they find, Portugal finds na he violated the terms of his dual citizenship, they will cancel his citizenship, Portuguese citizenship, then cancel his Portugal passport, then ang necessary action after that is to deport him to the Philippines kasi yan yung original citizenship niya. So, again, it is something worth pursuing with Portugal authorities.
But at the same time, no, as much as possible, yung extradition treaty na yan is somehow off the table at this point because it takes years to do that Tapos kailangan pa tawag dun, certify ba yung word na yun sa both houses? Ratify. Ratify. Yeah, that's the word.
i-ratify
Oo.
ng Senate. Yeah.
At tapos pag-usapan natin to, attorney, no? Also yung isang aside from suspecting na Saldico has a Portuguese passport, pwede daw yung itinatawag nilang European Golden Visa. Ano ba tong European Golden Visa na ito? Kasi parang lately lumalabas sa balita, attorney.
Well, similar to yung concept ni Trump sa Golden Visa niya, di ba, na if you pay a certain amount na ang mga bilyonaryo lang makaka-afford, you can get a visa. No? So, those will come with terms and conditions. So, similar concept, di ba? Kung we can prove na he violated the terms and conditions of that visa, EU can cancel that, or whoever the issuing authority is can cancel that, and then he can be deported for being kumbaga an irregular or unwelcome alien sa EU.
So mas madali, attorney, kung hindi nga siya Portuguese passport holder, rather kung may golden visa, kasi pwede natin sabihin, oy, itong may ginawa tong heavy crimes dito against the government, can we request for a cancellation of his visa? And that means he's holding a Philippine passport, pwede din i-cancel yung outright yung passport. So effectivity na visa, wala.
That's correct. No? So, I think ang lumalabas sa usapan natin is there are better options, better meaning quicker to pursue than yung extradition, no? Or perfecting an extradition treaty with Portugal. Although that should be pursued na rin, no? in the long term para hindi na makakatakas yung mga kriminal natin doon.
They're also looking at invoking daw itong United Nations Convention Against Corruption. Would you know, attorney, paano ba to? How will it, paano yung proseso nito?
Alam mo, Angela, I would defer to our international law experts, no? And I've been told by one of them na this is not applicable.
Not applicable.
No? Pinaliwanag na sa akin kung bakit, and unfortunately, I find it hard to understand kung bakit hindi applicable. But merong consensus, may consensus ang mga international law experts natin that this part of the UN apparatus is not applicable in this particular instance.
I was wondering why, no? Kasi sabi naman anti-corruption, 'di ba? And the case is about corruption. So I was wondering why. Kasi sabi nila when I was reading about it na to be able to do it, kailangan merong interagency committee, 'di ba? Na bubuuin si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, that would include of course yung DFA secretary, yung Justice Secretary, etc. To be able to do it. Pero yun nga, medyo masalimuot siya. So, hindi siya po pwede. So, I was wondering kasi baka pwede yun because corruption ang pinag-uusapan, against corruption, and baka po pwede kahit na may hawak siyang Portuguese na passport. So, hindi mo nakakita na possible yon, attorney?
It might be as difficult as the extradition treaty option. No? So, kung we are looking at a menu of options, di ba, ang gusto natin yung mas mabilis mapoproseso. So, mas titignan natin dapat yung either kung meron siyang golden visa or kung Portuguese citizen nga siya. And also yung red notice ng Interpol. No? So, meron tayong tatlong mas mabilis na option na dapat natin tignan.
Pero ito palang United Nations Convention Against Corruption is a legally binding treaty. It's a treaty that provides a framework for international cooperation against corruption. So it mandates cooperation between the state parties in investigating and prosecuting criminal offenses. Yung pala yun. Okay. Alright.
Okay, attorney, yung tanong ko ngayon dito is about yung given itong last few months of yung pag-iimbestiga nila sa flood control scandal and anomaly, and I'm sure you were able to follow some of the updates, no? How critical is it that we get Saldico back? Hypothetically, if we don't get him back, how damaging will it be to resolving this flood control mess given yung mga characters already who are involved?
Alam mo, Angela, that's a good question. No? So first and foremost, kailangan natin sabihin na there are already pending cases against Saldico. So umaandar na yung investigation level and also prosecution level. No? So he is now being prosecuted. May arrest warrant na nga
Yes.
siya. So as far as Ko is concerned, yung physical presence niya, yung pinag-uusapan natin. But when we talk about yung public clamor for the big fish,
Yes.
yung maraming big fish to be arrested and detained, I think kailangan natin sabihin na Ko is just one of them, right?
Yes.
Meron pang mga conspirators dito sa pork barrel cartel na to that need to be arrested and detained. And siguro dapat yung attention natin is sa kanila, no? So, kasi si Ko, if we're going to talk about the circumstances of the conspiracy, chairman lang siya ng Appropriations Committee, right? There is another person above him who is more powerful, a bigger fish. And who is that, di ba? Of course, the former speaker. Yun ang hinihintay natin, I think, na maaresto rin at ma-detain din. At least at this preliminary level.
Yes,
no?
that's right.
Ang nangyayari kasi, we are now, Malacanang is trying to sort of pull our attention to Ko para hindi natin mapag-usapan na meron talaga tayong hinihintay pa na maaresto at makulong. And I'm thinking na baka siguro merong hesitation ang ombudsman to pursue that bigger fish because of his relationship to the president.
That's
No?
right.
So, ito dapat yung mga pinalilitaw natin na mga tanong. Kasi right now, Ko is just one of the conspirators. He's just one of the big fish. There are still bigger fish out there, no, na mas mataas pa sa kanya. So, yun ang gusto natin makita, maaresto at ma-detain, no? Yung mga bigger fish na yon. Particularly, at that time, sino yung speaker? At that
Yes.
time, sino yung Senate President? Kasi they are the ones who decided on these insertions.
That's right. And you mentioned, attorney, the bigger fish, no? We all know si Saldico has pointed to, the former Speaker, Martin Romualdez. But the question here is if the Ombudsman goes after Saldico and goes after former Speaker Martin Romualdez based sa statement also ni Saldico, then will he have to look into yung statement ni Saldico pointing to the biggest fish? Because Saldico implicated the President also. Because if you appreciate his testimony against the Speaker, you have to appreciate also yung testimony against the President. Hindi mo pwede hiwalayin yun. Hindi mo pwede selectively pipiliin anong gusto mong pakinggan.
Yes, 100%. No? If you're going to, kung halimbawa, from the perspective of the ombudsman, you have to look at the testimony in its total picture. No? Kasi nag-offer ng leads yun eh.
Yes.
And you have to pursue those leads wherever they may bring you. Now, kung sa Pangulo, may hangganan, no? At least in the next 3 years kasi you can only sort of do a desktop investigation with regards to the
Yes.
president dahil meron siyang immunity. Pero after his term, those investigations can be pursued into prosecution. No? So, hindi ibig sabihin na wala si Ko, hindi na ipupursue ng ombudsman yung mga leads na yon. And that's what we're trying to say here na kung meron tayong clamor for the big fish, the biggest fish na kailangan makulong, hindi pa nakukulong, hindi pa naaresto.
Well, ako naman, attorney, I want to look at this way na parang, I don't know if it's this fair to us, being a lawyer, no, na with the record high, no, na confidential and intelligence fund ng administrasyon ng Philippine president natin, how come na super tagal na, parang ang tagal-tagal na ma-track down, ma-aresto, mabalik dito si Zaldico, no? While we understand that we want to go through legal process as much as possible, no? Or not as much as possible, but we want to go through, diba, rational and legal and acceptable way to acquire the jurisdiction of a person.
That's a perfectly legitimate point to raise, Angela. No, it's been what, months?
No.
We cannot even pinpoint where he is, right? So hindi acceptable. I mean, to put it simply, hindi acceptable for our government, given the billions nga na sinasabi mo in confidential funds, to not be able to at least identify where he is. Kasi iba yung identify where he is doon sa proseso na i-repatriate siya sa atin. Kasi legal process na yon. Pero yung identifying kung saan siya.
Until now kasi, possibility na nasa Portugal siya. Hanggang ngayon, ganun pa rin possibility, di ba? Ganun.
That's right, di ba? Parang it's incredulous, di ba, na ganun pa rin tayo, na hindi pa tayo sigurado kung nasan siya. It doesn't match doon sa millions and billions of money that taxpayers put in those offices na supposed to be can do the intelligence and the work to find out kung nasaan yung mga fugitives.
That's right. Attorneys, speaking of the flood control scandal, there another one that's being implicated, si former Secretary, his name Bunoan. And he hasn't, I think, to this point, returned to the Philippines. So it's another one who is missing. We are missing several key players already. How does this impact the entire case? I mean, also, yung image natin sa international community, every time may issue, may nawawala.
Alam mo, that's another great point, and I think ang pwede ko lang ma-impart dito is when it comes to these kinds of concerns, yung nire-raise natin, the president cannot be trusted, cannot be relied upon. Pero syempre kasi rin siya, person of interest din siya to a certain extent, So I think the only person that we can look up to for some guidance here is the ombudsman, Kasi siya na talaga may tangan nitong issue na to kasi nga he is now pursuing the corruption prosecution na .
Yeah.
So kung meron tayong mga concerns or issues about this matter, yung infrastructure related corruption, then the only person that can have dependable and credible guidance for us, the public, ay yung ombudsman. Yung mga lawmakers, yung presidente, yung spokesperson niya, they are just like us, outsiders na rin dito sa issue na to. So, I think yun siguro may impart ko. Kung meron tayong mga tanong, kung meron kayong mga tanong, the best person to ask is the ombudsman.
Okay, and of course, sabi nga nila, hindi na bago sa atin ito na meron tayong gustong pabalikin dito na mga wanted na mga opisyales dahil nga sa mga issue at mga kaso, because we had Arnie Teves, former Congressman Arnie Teves, brought back here from Timor-Leste. And I think it was different before because ASEAN was on the table and our president was able to talk to the leader of Timor-Leste. So do you think it is also possible or mas magandang avenue rin yun na diplomatically makipag-usap na diretso si Pangulong Bongbong Marcos sa leader ng Portugal para once and for all, malaman talaga natin kung nandun ba talaga siya at mapabalik dito?
Well, kung ako magiging advisor niya, I wouldn't advise yung head of state to head of state. I mean, that might prove too embarrassing for him and for us na rin, But certainly, kung at the level of the DFA, that's certainly something worth pursuing, yung foreign ministry to foreign ministry to come up with an arrangement kung paano i-resolve tong issue na to. Kasi maiintindihan naman nila I mean, ang Portugal or EU, na this is very serious to us because this involves plunder. So kung citizen natin siya, assuming citizen natin siya at nagtatago siya dun sa kanila, I think maiintindihan nila na meron tayong strong interest na maibalik siya sa atin, and they will cooperate to find a diplomatic and legal solution to it. But of course, that changes kung citizen din nila siya. That's really something, kumbaga parang it will change the color a little bit, and they might be even more interested to cooperate with us, no? Knowing na meron silang plunderer in their ranks. No? So, maybe yung head of state to head of state, hindi maganda yun siguro. But certainly yung ministry level, that should definitely be pursued also.
Alright, maraming salamat po muli sa inyong oras and of course for your insights, Attorney Michael Yusinko, Senior Research Fellow at the Ateneo Policy Center. Good morning.